Alright guys, I'm back again here showing you something that I just picked up from the flea market a couple of days ago, and this is a Nintendo Power issue from March/April of 1990. So as you can tell, it's on the eve of the launch of Super Mario Bros. 3. So some really cool stuff right here. I've always wanted to see if I could find some of these retro Nintendo Power issues, and I just finally found a copy at a flea market for sale, and I just couldn't pass it up because it was only $1. So definitely really awesome. And I know this is gonna sound so nerdy, but I mean, I just love this magazine so much. I mean, it's just so much better and so much more fun to actually read and actually look at all the pictures and everything than the newer Nintendo Power issues actually. So that's probably because I'm a huge NES nut, but whatever. So I'll show you guys a little bit of this magazine because I think it's really sweet. So of course you have the claymation artwork of Mario and the Koopa Kids and the Angry Sun and Chain Chomp. Like I said, this is on the eve of the launch of Super Mario Bros. 3. Also talks about other games like Silent Service, 720, Boy and His Blob, Pinbah, and Astyanax. And there's a couple of other ones in here that they'll talk about. Nintendo, the source for NES players straight from the pros. Alright then. And here is the back cover. I want to make sure you can't see the address there because I don't want to really give out any personal information here. It just has the Nintendo seal of quality. Just talks about look for that seal when you buy Nintendo products. Basic stuff like that. So opening it up, here's the page where you can subscribe to the magazine. Here are the table of contents where it talks about Mario 3 and the other games that were mentioned on the front cover. The Consumer Electronics Show report, Game Boy, and some new games coming out for it. Because Game Boy was pretty much brand new when this issue came out. Other NES games I'll talk about like Final Fantasy and Super C, which are also just getting ready to come out. Player's Pulse, which just kind of gives some stories about some different NES players. So now here's where they'll start to talk about Super Mario Bros. 3. Just gives the list of items there. Sorry about this shadow right here, guys. My room doesn't have the greatest lighting, but I really can't help that too much. So he gives the maps for the first couple of levels in the game. Like here's World 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, and the fortress there, mini fortress I should say. Let's see, Icy Labyrinth, into the Koopa Kids ship, and it goes through I think like the first 3 worlds I believe. Yeah, so now this one's talking about World 2. And this one all now gets into the end stages of World 2. So really cool stuff. And then it goes through Worlds 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I guess it leaves out 8 because, you know, that's where they really wanted to keep the surprise, I suppose. But really neat that they advertised the game like that. Silent Service. Really don't like this game at all. I was not a big fan of it. Consumer Electronics Show. Just gives a profile of some upcoming products and some games, I suppose. Like here they talk about Game Boy and some new games arriving for that, for action, sports, role-playing, and puzzle games. Because I guess Game Boy was a really big thing for CES back then. Pinbot, 720, which is another game I really didn't like. A Boy and His Blob. I really want to get into this game really bad too, but you know, I just always got lost. This map right here will definitely help me out a lot. And the strategy guide sort of thing here. That's what I really like about this magazine too, is it shows you how to play the game. It doesn't really give a review of it, which it, you know, gives like a short paragraph of what the game's all about and all that. But it really shows you how to play the game instead of like a review of it, which is really what I enjoy so much about the older issues of Nintendo Power. The Howard and Nestor comics, which I'm sure everyone has heard of. Wrath of the Black Manta, Astyanax, some more Astyanax stuff. The top 30 NES games that were out at the time. Let me show you guys this because I think this is really cool to look at. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1. Mega Man 2 is #2. Mario 3. No, sorry, Mario 2 is #3. Because Mario 3 was just coming out. I think it's only been out for like a month or so when this issue came out. I'm not too sure on that though. Zelda 2, Dragon Warrior, Zelda 1. There's Mario 3 right there. Ninja Gaiden, DuckTales, Tecmo Bowl. So, yeah, and it just gives the rest of the 30 right here, which I guess are the more miscellaneous games. Here's the previews for like the upcoming Easter season, and these are games that were just about to come out. Like the first Final Fantasy game, which I guess was a really big deal back then. Codename Viper, which looks like a really good game. What I sadly don't have that one right now. Super C, which is a really brutally hard game. I mean, I love Contra, but that's such a difficult game to play. Dragon Warrior, the text adventure, which is what they called it back then. This is a really helpful strategy guide right here to help me get through the game, which is good because I really can't understand how to play Dragon Warrior that much, so that'll help me out a lot. Game Boy advertises some new games for that, like Nemesis, which is essentially Gradius, but for Game Boy. And some other games that were out at the time, like Malibu Beach Volleyball, World Bowling, Heinkyo Alien, however you pronounce that, and Boomer's Adventure in Asmic World. Okay. Games I've never heard of course. Some other ones like Flipful, Billion, something like that. I don't know. Coming up new for Game Boy, which is actually kind of funny. New games now available, like Tecmo World Wrestling, Abadox, Bases Loaded 2, Baseball Simulator 1000, Unser Jr. and Turbo Racing, Battle for Olympus, which is a really, really good game. I highly recommend that one. Zexus, which is another great game. Rescue the Embassy Mission. Counselor's Corner, where a lot of the gamers' questions are answered. Not a whole lot to say about that. Classified Information, which is the cheats section, essentially. Like, this was a very famous one to skip to Mike Tyson by entering a password in Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Slowing down Quickman in Mega Man 2, which I really want to look into using that. And some of these cheats I've really never heard of either, so that's really cool. Video Shorts just gives a short little description of a game, I guess, that was out, like 8 Eyes, Heavy Barrel, The Magic of What's Her Something or Another. That's a really hard word to pronounce, but I'm not going to try to bother to butcher that one. Kings of the Beach, Magic Johnson's Fast Break, Marvel's X-Men, which that game is terrible, and Target Renegade. Destination Earthstar, Top Players Tennis, Remote Control, Win, Lose, or Draw, Vegas Dream. Top Gun 2, Dash Galaxy, Rockin' Ball. Fisher Price, I Can Remember. Puss in Boots, Fisher Price again. Okay, now here's the NES Achievers section, which is really, really cool, I guess. And it gives the description of how to send in your high score to Nintendo. Here's how to capture your achievement. And it just gives the basic descriptions here, like turn off all lights, make sure you center it correctly, turn the flash off, mail it to this specific spot, Redmond, Washington, which is Nintendo of America's headquarters. NES Journal, which is just a silly little quiz thing you can do. This is also really cool here. It gives a description of the 1990 Nintendo World Championships, which were going to occur later that year. Which I'm sure everyone knows that this is the absolute holy grail of NES collecting. And it gives the description of what cities the championships are going to be held at. I don't know if you guys can see that really good. But here in Detroit, it says it's going to be held at the Pontiac Silverdome. So, yay. At least it came to Michigan, so that's pretty cool. Some Nintendo miscellaneous accessories like Type touch-sensitive controls. Huh, that's weird. Some VHS tapes for some Nintendo shows, like the Legend of Zelda show, the Mario Brothers Super Show. This advertises the Fourscore, which was about to come out. And here's a celebrity profile. If you guys know who this actress is, please tell me, because I've never heard of her. Sarah Gilbert. I have never heard of her, so if you guys know who she is, please tell me. I'd be kind of curious. Pack Watch. This is for advertising new games coming out, like Ninja Gaiden 2, which is easily among my top favorites for, you know, NES games, that's for sure. Crystalis, Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers, another one of my absolute favorites. Golgo 13 and Solstice. Maniac Mansion, Battle Chess, Little League Baseball. Castlevania 3 and Dungeon Magic. And this is where you can back order previous issues all the way to the first one. Anticipate these things coming up in the next issue, which the next issue will talk about Final Fantasy, Dino Wars, Burai Fighter, and Super C. Nintendo Power Awards 89. I have no idea what this is. Probably for high scores or something like that. And this is the Nintendo Power nominees for the best NES games coming out in 1989, I suppose. I think that's what this was for. The Nintendo Power Awards 1989. I think that's what all these choices were for. And then I guess you could send in your submission to Nintendo by ripping out the players poll here and sending it in. That's why this part is missing, I guess. And I guess that is that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little video. I hope you found it to be really, really neat to look at, as I definitely did. And as always, guys, have a great day.